Hey guys, another guitar from my arsenal. Just a quick kind of an overview. I mean, it's not really a review or anything, just hey, check out this cool guitar. I think it's cool. This is a 79 Stratocaster. I picked this up at my local guitar store, and normally that's a place that has nothing but beginner guitars, very inexpensive stuff, nothing good. But this one came in, guys, this lady, her husband owned it. She was she was his widow. She came in and had to sell off his guitar. He'd passed away, and the owner, he's a straight shooter, straight ahead guy. Gave her good amount of money for it. And I saw it and I was like, whoa! I had to have it. Just had to have it. This thing, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I mean, you can see the cracking in this finish. I mean, if you're into the relic thing, this thing has it in spades. But this is legit. This is not some Fender closet classic or something done in their custom shop for thousands and thousands of dollars. This is just real, honest playware. And this thing, is such a sign of the times. Mirror pickguard, the chrome dome knobs, kind of like off a telly, but from the era from the 80s. And this thing came with some kind of mega preamp deal under there. It's got a bunch of electronic guts wired under there, and there was a three-way switch above that, kind of weird. The jack isn't a Strat cup anymore. You got to put in a regular straight jack or right angle. There was a three-way there. My kids were playing too close to it, and that trem bar, they just kind of knocked it a little bit, and the trem bar, whack, it broke that three-way right off. And it unfortunately, the three-way goes right into this little cube, this little preamp cube, and it broke it off. But you know what? It sounded like it didn't sound very good anyway. Stock pickups on this thing, it's got a very great Strat tone. When you think of a Strat tone, a Dire Straits tone, whatever, Martin Knopfler tone, whatever, whoever you're thinking of, David Gilmour, it's got it. Those are the stock pickups, and it's got the stock volume pots and the tone pots in there. And this is kind of interesting. I thought that this thing had been monkeyed with. I'm not a real Fender guy. I'm a metalhead, the metal cop. I like metal guitars, the pointy guitars, the Charvel Strats, the Kramers, the Jacksons, the what have you. But I thought that this had been messed around with, because look, the thing is so dark. The headstock, it's so dark. And look at it compared to the fingerboard. I'm like, oh, somebody tried to refinish or did something. And no, it's bone stock. And I guess what happened was Fender wanted to, what they painted the neck with, I assume probably a polyester or something, kind of a clear coat. When they applied it to the headstock, it was eating through the decals. It was melting the decals. So they had to, they used their poly because it's a really durable, hard finish. It wears like iron on the necks, but when it came to the headstocks, they used the old nitrocellulose lacquer, and it wore it at a different rate. It faded at a much different rate than the neck. This is a 79. It's got some really good tuners. I'm not sure what those are. I think they're Schallers. They got a really, really good ratio for tuning and staying in tune. I had this refretted. When I got it, it was just in desperate need of frets. And these, they're giant frets on here. I like the Dunlop 6100 frets. Again, I sent it to my luthier. He's done a few fret jobs for me on Les Pauls and so on. $110, $120. I'm not even sure how much they cost. But I got the bill for this one, and it was, I want to say $330, $360. I can't remember. And, I paid the bill. It played great, sounds great, but I called him. I'm like, hey, dude, what's the deal? And he said, well, the Fenders, and I don't know from Fenders. You guys, I'm sure there's guys out there that know tons more than me. I'm, ignorant when it comes to all things Fender. They lacquered over the frets. They lacquered over the original frets. So he had to, he got out an X-Acto knife or a razor blade or something, and he had to carefully score on each side of the fret, the old frets, and then just so carefully, extract the old frets so you're not chipping the lacquer finish on the frets themselves. And if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know that it had been done. He did a fantastic job. This thing plays great. It sounds great. You know, this kind of reminds me of, you know, Fast Eddie Clark from when he was in Motorhead. His, you know, he had a natural finish with a brass pickguard, but this is just such a total sign of the times here. You know, with that, all that preamp deal and this mirror finished pickguard there, and you know, it was just so cool. I couldn't pass it up. So, shallow strap locks on there. I didn't really do anything. I think I put a couple of screws in that it was missing. But I polished it. It's not really showing up, but this finish, this black finish, is just crazed. It's just full of cracks in it, and it, you know, wore away here in the where your armrests on it. Big chunky neck. You know, you got your 3-bolt with a little tilt adjustment. You saw the bullet truss rod there, which is just such a sign, you know, of the 70s, the way Fender did things. And yeah, you can see it up in there. There's some wear up in there. And I really wish I could get that to photograph. All that crazing. I hope you can see it. I like the relic stuff. I don't like the fake stuff, but I love the real stuff. You know, how do these guitars get like this? You know, how are these things all so worn out and so worn in? And my theory is a guitar that's got this much wear on it, that's, you know, that's player wear. It sounds great, and someone just played this thing and played this thing and played this thing. This was probably that poor guy who passed away. This is probably his only axe, you know, and played it in smoky bars throughout its whole life, and you know, just got all that wear on. But you can just, this thing, it really has its own kind of a soul. And I have a few guitars that are like that, you know, and it's not like the old, oh, you just bought it because it's beat up. Make sure it's a decent guitar first, but as long as it plays great, and with a guitar with this kind of wear on it, you can rest assured it probably plays great, you know. And I want to say, I don't know what I paid for this, and then with the frets, I'm probably only into this guitar for, you know, $1,100 or something like that. Just a great guitar, great Strat tone, you know, Tommy two-tone 8675309. It just kills it, you know. You want to play the My Sharona, you want to play, you know, Doug Feiger's part, you know, the lead singer's part, guitar part, not the Les Paul part. And this guitar just does it. The Strat tone for days. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this little overview of my 1979 heavily relic'd Stratocaster. Thank you for watching.